Welcome to Mountain Strong. Today I am in Rockland, California. Our family's in the process of moving from Anchorage, Alaska all the way down to Phoenix, Arizona, so we have to drive the length of the state of California as a part of that move. And stopping today to spend some time with the family here and also to work and worship with the church in Sacramento, but also stopping at this particular place to have a look at this psalm together with you. So today we're going to have a look together at Psalm number 144. Let's read that now. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. He is my steadfast love and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. O Lord, what is man that you regard him, or the son of man that you think of him? Man is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow. Bow your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains so that they smoke. Flash forth the lightning and scatter them. Send out your arrows and rout them. Stretch out your hand from on high. Rescue me and deliver me from the many waters, from the hand of foreigners, whose mouths speak lies, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song to you, O God. Upon a 10-stringed harp I will play to you, who gives victory to kings, who rescues David his servant from the cruel sword. Rescue me and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouths speak lies, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. May our sons in their youth be like plants full grown, our daughters like corner pillars cut for the structure of a palace. May our granaries be full, providing all kinds of produce. May our sheep bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our fields. May our cattle be heavy with young, suffering no mishap or failure in bearing. May there be no cry of distress in our streets. Blessed are the people to whom such blessings fall. Blessed are the people whose God is the Lord. The Bible does discuss human weakness when compared to God. And that theme is explored, sprinkled throughout the Bible. But I find in comparison to the amount of material in the Bible, it is a subject more reflected upon outside of the Bible than it is inside of the Bible. And sometimes human weakness, it kind of becomes a crutch for certain behaviors and certain beliefs that man is incapable of doing certain things, certain behaviors that demonstrate a lack of faith in a person's ability to change. The Bible doesn't drive home the point of weakness as often as we do, and it certainly does something that we don't do. It drives home the fact that we are also strong. In this psalm, in the first 4 verses, you notice a contrast here. You notice the psalmist claiming strength in verses 1 and 2. He says that God has trained him for war, he's trained his fingers for battle, he is his shield, and he subdues people under me. And so there's this idea that God gives victory to his people. And yet, in verses 3 and 4, he sees himself as being like a breath, a passing shadow. He sees himself as therefore being weak. And so maybe instead of the hymn, which says, I am weak, but thou art strong, maybe we should be reflecting upon the fact that I am strong and I am weak. Without God, I am weak, but with God, I am strong. What you find in verses 5 through 11 are reflections upon the fact that God is a person who has helped, he is a being who must help, and he is a being who must be praised for his help. You know, you get the sense of God's deliverance coming in some majestic way, and the need for him to do so because of those who are speaking lies and whose right hand is full of falsehood. God is stronger than those whose right hand is full of falsehood. Even though that's their strong hand, God's weakest finger is stronger than their strongest hand. And so God is going to bring deliverance. And so the psalmist says, I'm going to praise you. I'm going to sing a new song to you upon this 10-stringed harp he mentions in verse number 9. He sees God as one who gives victories. And therefore, when the problems arise again in verse 11, he calls upon God to rescue him. And so there's this bouncing back and forth between these ideas. If you realize, though, that God is a God who gives strength to his people, you're not merely going to turn to him when things are going wrong. I find that that's too often the outcome. I think I am weak, then I am preoccupied with weakness, and I fail to realize that God is a God who grants victory and loves to see his people victorious and blessed. I find too many prayers reflect upon what we want God to fix, and not enough prayers about how we want God to fight. And so I love this psalm for that reason. The psalmist acknowledges his weakness and the need that he has to turn to God and the need that he has to turn to God in light of powerful enemies. He acknowledges all of that. But then the psalm concludes with these statements calling upon God to lead his people to blessing and victory. In verses 12 through 14, you find these statements that the psalmist wants to have good families amongst his people, good blessings amongst his people. He envisions the families, he envisions the cattle, the agriculture. He wants his people to experience victory because he knows that God brings victory. Blessed are the people to whom such blessings fall. Blessed are the people whose God is the Lord. Do you pray like God's people are blessed? Like God's people can come to him not just to fix problems, but to actually achieve lasting and eternal good and even temporal good? Do you think God wants people to unnecessarily suffer? Do you think God wants people to experience difficulties and tragedies throughout their entire lives? He has a purpose for all of these things as a part of his plan, and we can see that throughout the Psalms. But at the same time, I think our prayers should be also focusing upon not just fixing problems, but again, calling upon God to fight and to deliver blessings. God desires to bless. He gives good gifts without variableness, without shadow of turning. And so, call upon him. You know, which of you as fathers would have your son ask for a bread and give him a serpent? You think God is not going to give good things to those who ask of him? He certainly will. He will bless you. But remember to ask. Remember not just to ask for deliverance from problems. Remember to ask for blessings. And remember to ask for God to allow you to enjoy the victory that God's people experience. May God bless you today.